Well, good evening and welcome to Klaipėda, Lithuania for tonight's game here in Group D of the 2027 FIBA Basketball World Cup Qualifiers. It's game day 4, and it's the final game of this window between our hosts, Lithuania, and the visitors, Iceland. Well, it was only a few days ago in which we were in Reykjavik, in which we witnessed history with Iceland winning, having been trailing by 21 points in the fourth quarter, and a final bucket from Elvar Fredriksson to seal Iceland's first ever victory in their history against Lithuania. Well, the other two teams in this group, we'll take a look at the standings, as at the moment, Iceland, with that big victory, having already defeated Italy in round 1, they will take top of Group D. But that all could change. Remember, coming into this window, all 4 teams are 1-1. Well, it was a historic moment for Icelandic basketball. That is an understatement. And there is the man. Build a statue of Elvar Fredriksson. That's what they should do in Reykjavik. He is a national icon, a hero for the performance that he gave. I mean, he led Iceland with 34 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. But you look at some of their other players. The only other player to get into double figures for the Icelandics was Tryggvi Hlynnesson, the big man inside, because he finished at 14 points. Didn't get his usual double-double. But Iceland only finishing with 7 offensive rebounds, but did knock down 11 out of 23 from the three-point line. Well, for Lithuania and coach Rimas Kurtinaitis, arguably regarded as one of the greatest Lithuanian basketball players of all time. I mean, he was shocked. Fourth quarter, you could see 2 timeouts were called in the last 5 minutes, and I don't think he knew what was going on. I mean, nobody saw that comeback coming, and it was probably one of the greatest comebacks in the history of international basketball. But the good thing for Lietuva, the Lithuanians, they're back on home soil, and we're now on the northern coast of this beautiful coastal city of Klaipėda. Well, they do have a very talented team. We do have Marek Blažević, Margiris Normantis, Ignas Brazdeikis, as well as Ažuolis Tubelis, but they'll be thinking that was a major disappointment for them. But they've got to come home, and they've got to take care of business. It was Marek Blažević who led them in that defeat with a double-double of 19 points and 11 rebounds. But knowing this magnificent basketball country, full of culture and history within this magnificent game, they'll be looking to make amends. And you can already see the game face on head coach Rimas Kurtinaitis. Well, one thing you'll find in Lithuanian basketball, there's never an empty seat in the building. Even when they play away, they brought many fans. But now, let's stand for the national anthems of these two beautiful countries.
For the national anthem of Lithuania, prašome likti stovėti, skambės Lietuvos Respublikos himnas.
Well, it's always a beautiful moment when you listen to the national anthem of Tatishka Giesmė of Lithuania. And of course, that is how we embrace the culture and diversity of international basketball, as both with Lithuanian players and Icelandic players will shake hands with each other, pay each other respect. But no doubt, Elvar Fridriksson, because that was only the 4th time in which Iceland played against Lithuania in their history. And you go back to 1999, when his father actually played against Lithuania. But now let's introduce our 3 referees: Ademir Zurabovic, Fernando Calatrava Cuevas, and Mehmet Shahin, coming from Turkey, España, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Well, now we'll take a look at the starting lineups, but also to start with Iceland. So, again, no Mon Hermansen this evening. You know, A.S. Standinson will play in the backcourt with Jan Axel Gudmundsson, and their leader and scorer, Elvar Fridriksson. Christian Paulsen will be the power forward, while big man Tryggvi Hlynnesson supposed to be looking to get his usual double-double at the international stage for Iceland. Well, head coach Craig Peterson has done such a magnificent job with his team. Remember, Iceland, they've never gone to a FIBA Basketball World Cup, and it was Elvar Fridriksson who was 1 3-pointer away back in 2023 in Tbilisi, Georgia, from getting them to that landmark. They played 3 times in the Eurobasket, but have never won a game. But can they get 2 in a row against Lithuania? Well, we said Marek Blažević was the man with the double-double, leading the Lithuanians. Ignas Brazdeikis will be the primary point guard, along with Kristupas Žemaitis. Kachinas, along with Ignas Sadgionis of Rytas Vilnius. Well, they have Mangiris Nematis, Ažuolis Tubelis, along with Vidas Karianoskas coming off the bench. So, very much still a deep lineup for the Lithuanian legend of Rimas Kurtinaitis. Well, he's probably looked back at that game and thought every great team has to stumble somewhere. But again, very disappointing knowing they led by 21 points in the 4th quarter. But I don't think anybody was going to stop Elvar Fridriksson. Because the Lithuanian fans have come out in fine fashion this evening, hoping that their team can turn it around this evening. Now, remember, later on at 6:30 local time, Great Britain are on the road against the Italians, because Great Britain had a very tough game at home in Tyneside, Newcastle. Well, those are 2 very infamous twins, social media icons in the Lithuanian Basketball Network. Of course, you can follow all their content online. I mean, they do a lot of work within the Baltic, not only Lithuania, but also with Latvian basketball. Well, Craig Peterson, goes, you can see how disappointed he and his players were after many competitive games in Katowice, Poland, and last summer's FIBA Eurobasket. Same for Rimas Kurtinaitis. Well, fans, while we're listening, the official sponsor, the Tissot Countdown to Tip-Off, is underway, and a big thank you to Tissot for a magnificent partnership and collaboration with FIBA International Basketball for many decades. Well, Lithuania's last success at a FIBA Basketball World Cup came on the 12th of September back in 2010, when they took down Serbia in the bronze medal game, and after a very disappointing semifinals against the United States of America, where their lead scorer, Linus Kleza, only knocked down 1 out of 11 from the field, he responded big time in that semifinals. Well, Kleza finished with 33 points, 7 rebounds, but it was Simas Jasaitis who finished with a double-double of 10 rebounds and 14 points. Well, for those Icelandic fans, they've never gone, indeed, to a Basketball World Cup. And right now, they're off to a high-flying start. The only disappointment for them was losing against Great Britain in game day 2 of window 1. Well, I can tell you one thing. The Lithuanians have their game faces on tonight. They know, no Mon Hermansen. They're going to have to make life very uncomfortable for Elvar Fridriksson. Welcome indeed. Live here in the beautiful city of Klaipėda at the Sivturio Arena. This is game day 4 of window number 2, the 2027 FIBA Basketball World Cup Qualifiers. Hlynnesson jumps this with Blažević. Iceland will get the first play. Already good denial defense, and that's going to be a backcourt violation. And Ignas Sargionis. Well, that man is coached by Giedrius Ževinis of Rytas Vilnius. And the pedigree at Rytas, it's all defense. Because when we return from the international break, Ignas Sargionis will be hoping to lead Rytas into a top 2 in the round of 16 within the Basketball Champions League. They've never gone to a Final Four since joining the BCL. Brasdeikis gets past the defense, goes in and right over the big man. Aggressive beginning so far here for the Lithuanians. I think today they're going to have to defend the perimeter because Iceland, they are a volume three-point shooting team. The difference is they take high percentage looks. Here's one of them, Powson, corner. And there you have it. That's way too wide open. This Christian Powson having quite a good career, having played in some of the top leagues in Europe. Brasdeikis wants to go up against Jan-Axel Gudmundsson. Keeps his hands high. Gudmundsson comes up with a rebound. One thing Lithuania want to do is get Gudmundsson into foul trouble early. He's the only natural center that Iceland possesses. Fredriksson finds Gudmundsson, good pass. Well, good denial from behind. And here comes Žemaitis. Finds Brasdeikis. Now that should be a blocking foul, surely. No. They've called a charge, I think. Well, I take back what I said. Good defense. Let's have a look at the ball. Here's the... Who got this one? Well, that's... Wow. A lot of contact from Sargionis. Well, you could argue he got into position. You could argue he was late, but the call has been made. Iceland will get it back. Žemaitis trying to keep A.S. Standison in front of him. Iceland just have such a very quick, explosive backcourt. Because probably going to see a lot of minutes tonight from Thorid Thorbanjarsson. Because he did play quite, and also Styrmir Thrastason as well. So Iceland definitely not short of elite guards. Gudmundsson. Now we're on the 10 here for Iceland. Powson made his last three. This one's contested. It was on target, but hits the back iron. Lithuania looking to reclaim the lead. Well, Brasdeikis, they go under the screen. He'll fire the three, and that's way too short. Elva Fredriksson taking a gamble. Oh, nice take, but in the end, draws a foul, and that's going to be a third team foul against the Lithuanians. It's on Brasdeikis. See, this is what Lithuania, as Rubstavicius is going to check into the lineup, just cannot afford, is to allow Iceland to get in the open floor. Because they're still trying to figure out, which, you know, they did for quarters 2 and 3 in Reykjavik, is how to bring Tryggvi Hlynurson away from the bucket. That's Rubstavicius, youngest player on this team. First free throw just rolls out. Iceland in that victory did miss 6 free throws. They were 71% for the charity stripe in the win against Lithuania. Second one good. Jan-Axel Gudmundsson only had 3 points that night, that historic night. Well, Žemaitis made his first 3 3-pointers against Iceland. Marek Blažević in the lineup. Because quite a legacy that Elva Fredriksson built that evening, because although Martin Hermansson didn't play that evening, both those two were teammates in the NCAA in New York. And both their fathers played against Lithuania back in 1999 for Iceland. And of course, they made history, something their fathers couldn't achieve. As Inkas Sargionis from downtown. Well, don't leave him wide open. The Great Britain fans will remind you. Jan-Axel Gudmundsson. Blažević reaches. Just able to keep this one alive. Blažević doing a good job of the switch, but now Rubstavicius trying to deal with Hlynurson. Again, tough finish by the big fella. Well, I don't think Lithuania can afford a 1 through 5 switching with Tryggvi Hlynurson on the floor. Rubstavicius will fire a 3. That's not going to go. Powson comes up with it. That's going to be another foul, and 4th and final team one against Lithuania. Or is that actually going to stay Lithuania? No, I think it's a foul, yeah. It's on Gachinas. Sargionis matching up with Elva Fredriksson. Žemaitis just puts his hand in the cookie jar. Now Sargionis, little Eurostep action. He finishes in transition. Well, that's one way to convert turnovers quickly into fast break buckets. It's now catching this, just trying to keep Elva Fredriksson in front of him. Lithuania gets switching. Elva Oh, again, tough pass, but that time the 1 through 5 switching works. Great work by Mindaugas catching us. Well, that was the interception by Žemaitis. Sargionis comes up with it and dissects the Icelandic defense in transition. And there was the three-pointer. That's Rytas Vilnius, baby. Gamble taken by Jan Axel Gudmundsson. Blažević gets a seal-off. Good paint protection. Isaiah Stanison wants a run. Gets a little jump hook off it. Nobody following up for an offensive rebound. Iceland now 2 out of 6 from the field. A blocking foul is going to be called against Christian Paulsen. The foul definitely justified. Paulsen just trying to get ahead of Sargionis. That's only his first personal foul. Because the problem for Lithuania, they had to send Ignas Brazdeikis to the bench because he's already got 2 fouls. Well, this arena does have some very historic moments within the local team, Neptunus Klaipėda, most notably back in 2016 when one Jimmy Barron, of course, knocked down the record for most three-pointers ever converted in a single game in the Basketball Champions League at 10. Because that's a decade ago. Žemaitis made his first threes against Iceland. Doesn't get this one. From Stavicius. Oh, what a dime and a save. But can he finish? Elva goes in. Well, a save, a cross-court dime, and who else? The man they need to build a statue of in Reykjavik. Iceland regained the lead by 1. Stavicius just almost losing his balance. Lithuania had a mismatch with Mindaugas catching us in the paint. They didn't get it to him, but Sargionis will go in and already has 7 points. Well, he has flourished since joining Gedžužebinas and Rytas Vilnius. His game, his confidence has indeed skyrocketed. Gleason tries a bump. Just cannot finish. Good rebound by Žemaitis. Now here come Lithuania. Good denial defense. Stavicius puts up a tough one, and now he'll go to the free throw line. Stanison just argued with the decision, but that's a good call. Counts with the left arm from behind. Oh, right here. This is Dennis Rodman and Steve Nash in a combo. What a save, cross-court dime. If there was ever such thing in the game of basketball, well, there is now. That truly was incredible as Ažuolis Tubelis will sub into the lineup here for the Lithuanians. Well, Olafsson came off the bench and hit some crucial three-pointers for Iceland in that victory against Lithuania's Margiris Nomantis is currently playing in the Spanish ACB Liga Endesa for Cerner Bilbao. Having a good campaign, actually, in the FIBA Europe Cup this season. Mantas Stavicius. This has been a phenomenal play. Only 23 years of age. Could started his pro career back in 2018 with Panevicius. He's also spent a little bit of brief time playing abroad as well. So that's another example. Well, he played in the NBL for the New Zealand Breakers. It's now Blažević trying to defend Linus. Good defense by Blažević. And can Lithuania convert? Matas. Kicks out, finds Margiris Nomantis. You don't leave him wide open. Oh, my Lord. Well, Tubelis came in with the putback over 7'3" Linusson. 5-point lead to the Lithuanians. Olafsson, a lot of contact, nothing given. But in the end, Blažević just cannot contain it, so it goes out of bounds. Iceland will get it back. Let's have a look here. Oh, no, actually, there's no foul there whatsoever. If anything, there was a hold-off. There's a putback. Oh, Tubelis. Don't do that, big fella. Marek Blažević will go to the bench. He'll take a quick breather. So far, good start here for Lithuania with 4:49 to go in the first quarter. They've done a magnificent job to try and contain Elva Fredriksson. You can see that's part of their defensive game plan. He only has 2 points, and that is to try and get him to get rid of the ball early. We're just trying to deal with a few moist areas currently here on the basketball court. Because you just saw the assistant coach of Lithuania, Tomas Počesas. Because they also have Andreas Utsikas as well. So Utsikas, excuse me. Because quite a legendary coaching staff here for Lithuania. Iceland looking to cut it down to a 1-possession ball game. Time winding down for Elva. Fredriksson penetrates, finds Henderson. That's going to be a 24-second violation again. Suffocated defense coming from Lithuania. Well, he looks anxious, but I can tell you he is cool hand Luke at the moment. Craig Peterson is always very calm within. Very great basketball mind indeed. He's done a magnificent job since being the coach, but Ignas Sargionis walks into the mid-range. Well, he's got to knock that one down. That could have taken him to 9 points. Iceland trying to find Henderson. Just over 4 minutes. Elva has a lot of time for a three. Takes this one. Henderson offensive board and the reverse jam. Well, the tough task tonight. You've got to box out 7'3", the big man from Iceland. That's already Iceland's second offensive rebound of the game. Is now Margiris Nomantis. Just kicking that one out to Martinez Gevin. Well, Gevin left wide open. And that's great execution. Iceland's defense just falling asleep on that moment. Elva finds his mid-range. Takes this one. Henderson could have grabbed that, tipped it out, and now here comes Lithuania. Tubelis. And that's going to be a blocking foul. That's a good decision because Olafsson clearly wasn't set, was moving. I think Azuolas Tubelis will be disappointed that he wasn't able to convert this. I mean, this should be a three-point play, if anything. Well, there was a dump down. Elva Fredriksson trying to switch, thinking that Henderson was going to come and recover, but that didn't happen. Well, Tubelis actually had a very good game. Right up until about 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Because he finished with 16 points. He was 5 rebounds away from a potential double-double. 7 out of 15 from the field that evening in Reykjavik. Second free throw miss. Offensive rebound falling in the hands of Matas Jogala. Ripstav just trying to play big point guard role here at the moment. Well, Jogala left wide open. 3 is up and make it a 4-point play for Lithuania. 9-point lead. And it looks like Iceland's got a cool timeout. And that's not the first time we've seen an uncontested 3 for Lithuania. Iceland's defense has got to be better. Well, we're going to head down to Iceland's bench to find out what Coach Craig Peterson is going to address to his players.
Let's try and get up and get into 5 up or X so we can get some movement going across the top, get their defense moving. All right? Get their defense moving. Okay? Hey, we're getting lots of good shots. We're getting lots of good shots. Okay? More speed up the court. If it's you guys or you, one of you three or whoever the guards are, if it's a guard up here, go X. If it's for example Oli, go 5 up. All right. Hey, flytter som de 5 up position of this.
Well, there's Ignas Sargionis already beginning the game. 3 out of 4 from the field. He's converted 1 3-point field goal. But look at this, taking the entire Icelandic transition defense by himself on his back. This time coming off one screen, hesitation, and a simple little teardrop. Like I said, his game has elevated since going to Ritas Vilnius and playing under head coach Giedrius Ževinis. The question is, can he lead Ritas to the quarterfinals? And who knows, maybe to Badalona for the BCL Final Four. Well, Iceland trying to work with Orban Yasin. Again, another turnover, out of control. Montegiris no Matis comes up with it. Martinez Kevin doesn't fancy the back down here, but now they'll go for another three on the perimeter. Now make it a 12-point lead. Lithuania, complete different focus. But remember, they had that 21-point lead against Iceland in the fourth quarter. A lot of control, no foul given. And here comes Montegiris no Matis, another three in transition. This time, Linusson able to gather the rebound. Montegiris no Matis going to the ground. Is able to recover. Thorben Yasin this time avoids the block, and what a penetration. Well, actually, it's Helmar Henningsen. And that cuts it down to a 10-point deficit. Iceland, even though that they only have one natural center, only 2 less points in the paint this evening. The guards are very lethal getting inside the paint. Back down coming from Tubelis. Goes for a tough fadeaway. Doesn't get it to rattle in. Linusson picks up another board. That's his 4th rebound of the evening. Can Iceland cut it down to single digits? Well, they'll go for 3. He'll cut it down to 7, but nobody going in for an offensive board. And that would have been perfect for Olofsson to go from the weak side. 100 seconds below here in the first quarter. Game day 4. Exciting matchup between these two teams. This group possessing both Italy and Great Britain. Well, Jokela was wide open to go to Gebbins in the mid-range. That's nothing but net. Well, Rimas Kurtinaitis likes what he's seeing from his players. Martinez Kevin now going up to 4 points. Oh, nice dime, goes down low, and this time the foul will be called. The question is it on Jokela or is it on Martinez Kevin? Double change coming in for Iceland as both Styrmir Thrastason, Christian Paulsen into the lineup here. Ignas Sargionis also subbing back into the game here for Lithuania. Martinez Kevin will go to the bench. And Marek Blažević. It's a double-double indeed against Iceland in that defeat, but hasn't scored so far this evening. Linusson now moving up to 5 points. First trip to the free throw line. You got to anticipate he's going to take a lot of free throws tonight. Second one good. Lithuania want to build a big margin going into the second quarter. Don't want to give any time or space for Iceland to believe that they can mount another comeback. Iceland switching. Tubelis up against Thrastason. Quick turnaround. Doesn't get it. That goes out of bounds. Last touch off of Thrastason. Lithuania retrieve it on the baseline. Stanis is going to come out, so coming back in. They've got to build a statue of him in Reykjavik back in. Henningsen only with that 1 point in transition so far as well. They're going to take out Tryggvi Linusson to get him a little bit of rest for this last 49.4. Now this is going to leave Iceland quite vulnerable defensively inside the paint. They don't have the protection. So if you're Lithuania, go inside. If they crash and double team, kick out to the perimeter. Lithuania already 3 out of 8 from downtown. Final seconds. Žemaitis goes in. Oh, I missed it. Paulsen tips the rebound away, and now Thrastason wants a run. Twisting, turning, good reach, good defense. Third steal of the game for Lithuania. Sargionis bumps, but he steps out of bounds. So now with 25.8, Iceland can actually have the final shot here in the first quarter. Good defense by Christian Paulsen. Right idea by Ignas Sargionis, trying to find Žemaitis wide open in the corner. But that now becomes the second turnover only here for Lithuania. Elva Fredriksson getting ready for the ball screen. Olofsson pick and pop. Elva. Pump fakes. Oh, but they turn it over. Styrmir Thrastason wasn't ready for it. So with 4.6, Rimas Kurtinaitis is going to call timeout. His team lead by 10 here in game day 4, live in the first quarter of the Basketball World Cup qualifiers. We're going to go down to Lithuania's bench to find out what he has to say.
atvarėt, blėt, tu dabar kur tu ten lendi, blėt? Nu nieko nėra, tai nelys grįžta. Dabar žiūrėk, ką padarysim. Išeisime tam kamuolį, Sargiūnai paėmė. Tu, Marikai, čia eini. Eini čia, lygi čia. Ir grįši va čia pastatysi. Sargiūnai, tu paėmė, kas išsimes autą. Ką, bet tik išmes kam į rankas. Paim gazą. Tu bėgi į priekį. Ir grįžti čia tik negauk baudos, nes esas negazo. Sustok čia išstovėk, kad neišmuštų iš vietos. Nebūk penaltinė čia užšaks. Ir pravarai, mes turim 4 sekundės. Bet perbėga per 3 sekundės. Ir nueik ir įmes, kad patraják arba išmokam. Važiuojam.
Well, welcome back live here in the city of Klaipėda, Lithuania. 4th game in this group of the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. With currently Lithuania lead by 10, and really this game coming out like the Lithuanian Avengers. 4.6 left here in the first quarter. And they try to get it inbound. Iceland, no fouls to give. Sargionis goes in, and he beats the buzzer. Wow, Ignas buzzer beater Sargionis of Rytas Vilnius. That's got Giedrius Žebinis transition written all over it. He is the TCL buzzer beater indeed. Well, that is the end of the first quarter. Lithuania have a 12-point lead currently against Iceland as they look to bounce things back after losing disappointingly on the buzzer in that third game only a few days ago. Well, there you can see Lithuania currently 3 out of 8 from the perimeter. Only 1 3-point field goal for Iceland. We'll take a look at the highlights very soon. Well, there was the play by, indeed, Brasdeikis early on, but, you know, Iceland responded with an early 3-pointer coming from Christian Paulsen. That's the only 3-pointer they made so far. As Ignas Sargionis right now having a game of games here for Lithuania at home. But Trinkly Henderson does have 6 points. But indeed, it's Ignas Sargionis with that final play that gives him 9 and leads the way so far in this one. Well, there's the kick out. That time coming from Magirs Nomatis, but the follow-up indeed by Azuolas Tubelis. Well, Elvar Fredriksson went for a quick one. It didn't take long for Trinkly Henderson to get second chance opportunity points. Which is how many times have Lithuania had open looks on the perimeter. This was a nice penetration by Hilmar Henningsen, but the final bucket, I mean, a give and go right here with Marek Blažević, and you don't ever beat him at the buzzer because he will beat the buzzer. Welcome back live here in Klaipėda, Lithuania. Use that QR code and download Courtside 1891, where you can get all the best live streams, schedules, and scores of international basketball. Courtside 1891, the home of international hoops. Use that QR code and download it today. Lithuania getting first possession, leading by 12. Tubelis finds Blažević. Blažević just turning it over. It's good defense by Henningsen. Well, Henningsen, Gudmundsson, Fredriksson, Paulsen, and Linusson on the floor. Well, they're struggling getting to the bucket. Lithuania, much better paint protection tonight. Well, Sargionis has 9 points. He'll go for another 3, and he is on fire at the moment. I'll tell you, he's come out a different player tonight. Now becoming the first player in double figures. Hasn't missed from the 3-point line yet. 4th triple so far here for Lithuanians. Linusson just able to draw that foul against Marek Blažević. Marek Blažević, of course, did actually foul out in that defeat against Lithuania. There's the 3 by Ignas Sargionis. Because they can't afford Blažević to get into foul trouble again. Because remember, Magirs Nomatis also had 4 fouls and finally gets another one to go. Well, it's Iceland's second. It's also Paulsen's second. Cutting it back down to 12 points. They hit 11 triples in the victory. Only got 2 so far tonight. Well, it looks like an offensive foul is going to be called against Azuolas Tubelis. I didn't see what transpired, but it's like Kristen Powelson's in a world of pain at the moment. Well, watch here. I don't think it's an act of violence. I mean, it's a push, if anything. But they are going to go to the monitor to review this. I think Powelson does a good job of initiating and accepting the contact. There's no doubt about that. Because here's where it happened. He set the original ball screen for Elvat Fredriksson. Fredriksson goes under. It just kind of tries to push off. I mean, look, I don't think it's a violent play, but it's a push for sure. But we'll see how this is interpreted. So good, a regular foul. Well, this is now a chance for Iceland to either cut it down to 10 points or single digits, but that's only Tubelis' first foul, so not too much for him to be concerned about. I think he quite happily will accept the inevitable. Elvat Fredriksson trailing off one screen, goes for another three. Well, he's played in this arena before, but that was in a Ritas Vilnius jersey. So far, only 2 points this evening. Well, nice dive, finds Blažević. Has to kick out. Good defense by Powelson. Iceland trying to recover anywhere they can. Sargionis goes in around the defense, too strong. Blažević should have finished that one from point blank range. Well, good hands on defense by Žemaitis, but Powelson is going to be called for an unsportsmanlike foul. Well, it happened just all too quickly. So, the thing is, it's a foul. Well, here's the original. I mean, that's a 50-50 right there, but yeah, I'd say that's a good call. Powelson makes no attempt to play the ball. So, chance for Lithuania to extend their lead, and they will get the possession back on the sideline. Unsportsmanlike does become the second foul tonight for Kristen Powelson. Second one no good for Žemaitis. It's still a 13-point margin for Lithuania. So it'll be interesting to find out the permutations of what this group will look like at the end of the season, because we could see both teams 2-2, depending if Lithuania and Great Britain win tonight. But have the top 3 teams in every group will go to round 2. And that time a foul scored. And I don't know if that's on Ugella or if Jan Axel Gudmundsson. Yeah, I think that's going to be a foul. I think that's good defense by Ugella. So that's a push from behind. So, excuse me, the foul was on Ugella. It's now Brazdeikis will check back into the lineup here for Lithuania. Matas Ugella now will go to the bench. So baseline possession for Iceland. Trying to find Kristen Powelson on the curl. Penetrates. Bumps out of control. Gets you out one. Something got it, nothing. And it was quite a prayer if you ask me, but this is good for Iceland. And that's going to be the first personal foul against Ignas Sargionis. Just out of position, but to be honest, what position was he supposed to be in? Because it almost looked like he was going to kick this one out. So Powelson now with 8 points. He's the game's second leading scorer. If he converts his free throw, will move up to 9, right behind Ignas Sargionis. Well, Kristen Powelson has spent the bulk of his career playing in the Icelandic Basketball League, but as of 22-23, he was actually playing in the BNXT League in the Netherlands for Aris Leeuwarden. Chris went to Maris College where he played 2 seasons. in the NCAA. A little shot from the mid-range, goes in and out. Big offensive rebound. And that's the benefit of bringing Trygve Lienason away from the key. The offensive rebounds will open up for Lithuania. 2.5 played so far here in the second quarter. Iceland trying to run these high ball screens with Lienason. Kicks out to Elva Fredriksson. Well, try to dish off. Iceland still have it. They get a shot off in time, but it won't go. Good defense. Can Lithuania extend their lead? They've led by as many as 15. Žemaitis trying to throw the alley-oop. Gebben wasn't ready, but again, unforced turnover. Well, make that the 5th turnover of the game so far for Lithuania. Isaiah Stanison will come back in the lineup. Now remember, Iceland also committed 8 turnovers so far here in the first half. Elva Fredriksson getting that high screen going to his left. They only have a post-up opportunity. They'll go for another 3. It's a good look, but in and out. It's now the 7th three-point field goal attempt this evening for Iceland. Brasdeikis wants to go down the middle. Martinez Gebben not becoming a threat from the three-point line. Someone's going to have to shoot it eventually. Brasdeikis will go for it. That goes out of bounds. That's going to remain Lithuania ball now. Worrying sign here for Iceland as Jan-Axel Gudmundsson's on the ground. Looks like he's taking a shot to the face. Let's have a look at the replay. Watch Jan-Axel Gudmundsson. Oh, wow. The thing is, Martinez Gebben had his eyes on the ball. So it's going to be tough to assume it's an act of violence, which I don't think it is, but still very painful for Jan-Axel Gudmundsson. Elva Fredriksson going to the bench. Still only 2 points, 1 for 4 from the field this evening. .6:18 to go in the second quarter. Live here in Klaipėda, Lithuania. Lithuanians looking to avenge their big defeat. Brasdeikis steps back from the mid-range, tucks it away. Simple play by the stop point guard. Restoring Lithuania's 14-point lead. Lithuania hands in the passing lanes, making the dribble handoffs difficult at the moments. And there's a reverse layup and a great move by Aya Stanison. That time again, getting inside the paint from Iceland's backcourt. But it's still a 12-point advantage to Lithuania. Iceland have fouls to give. Brasdeikis goes back to Martinez Gebben, high arc. In and out, can't get it. Goes out of bounds, and it goes back to Iceland. And that's disappointing for Lithuania because they did a great job of getting Trygve Lienason out of the paints. To that point, they should be able to come up with any offensive rebound, but Ignas Sargionis goes to the bench. Margiris Nomatis checking back into the lineup. Can Lithuania cut it down to 10? Lienason, good hands. It looks like a delayed call has been given, so Trygve Lienason will go to the free throw. I mean, that was inevitable. As soon as the lob was high enough and he gets it in the paint, the double team comes. I mean, let's have a look at the replay. There's the high screen. I mean, yes, Žemaitis is pushing with the right arm. It's an easy choice for the referee. But did they call it on Martinez Gebben? Marek Blažević back in the lineup, still scoreless so far here in the first half. He's only taken 2 attempts. As Trygve Lienason back at the free throw line has 6 points tonight. And has made all 3 of his free throws along with 4 rebounds. And well, at some point we're going to see Karian Elskis in the lineup, surely. He's been averaging 15.7 so far here in the qualifiers. Buries all 4 of his free throws so far here in the first half. Back to a 10-point Lithuanian lead. Iceland switching every back screen here from Lithuania's offense. Brazdeikis, heavily defended by Thorben Yasin. Twist turn goes in, simply unstoppable. Well, how do you defend Ignas Brazdeikis in a post-up? The elevation is so unguardable. Well, good reach, good hands by Magiris Nomatis. 9th turnover so far here for Iceland. Brazdeikis goes the length, and not for the first time, he goes up against Trygve Hlynesen. Brazdeikis just showing the calm, cool, collected play and the composure when going up against the big fella. Timeout call by Craig Peterson. Iceland down by 14. 4:40 to go in the second quarter. Let's listen now to Coach Peterson.
You bring it up. Hey, we run two up. When Ayer enters it, Ayer, you just cut off of Trygve. Okay, Trygve come into the ball screen and we run Spain. Okay, you're gonna set the back screen. Okay, okay. Let's have Thori coming out to get it. So you're coming with your left hand. Trygve's coming here. Ayer's popping out. Okay, you got Kitty and Jon Axel in the corner. Okay.
Well, Ignas Brazdeikis, as of now, getting into a good rhythm. So far, he's been causing problems. He's 4 out of 7 from the field with 8 points. He's only taken 1 3-point field goal attempt, but it's not the first time. It's the second time he's gone right at Trygve Hlynesen, and that's going up against 7'3". Iceland just beating the full court pressure. They get a wide open look in the corner. 3 is up. House contests for it. And now Lithuania again want to run. Well, what can they build on this offense here? They try to go for a seal-off. That's going to be a kickball violation. The knee of Trygve Hlynesen, to which Lithuania will get a reset of the 14. And Dogas Kachinas also back in the lineup here for Lithuania. There's the alley-oop, and that's going to be a foul, surely. Marek Blažević was getting ready to be a Lithuanian mailman for delivery. Well, you knew it was coming. Well, Trygve Hlynesen, of course, will be called for that one. Elvar Fredriksson coming back in the lineup. Well, the foul is on Christian Paulsen, actually, so not Hlynesen. So that's his 3rd personal foul. And also, Stedman Thrastason. He's only played a minute so far here in the first half. Magiris Nomatis draws the foul against his former Ritas teammate. Because those two had quite a season back in 2022-23 when they played in that epic play-in series against PAOK Thessaloniki in the Basketball Champions League. And what happened the following year? Well, Elvar went to Thessaloniki to play for PAOK, but then he achieved something only been done by 2 other players in the BCL history, and that's to record a triple-double, which he did on the road against Galatasaray in the regular season. Magiris Nomatis now makes it a 16-point lead. Six minutes played so far here in the second quarter. Iceland really being tested early on here in Lithuania. Good defense coming from Magiris Nomatis. Elva kicks out to Standison. Has to put up a teardrop and gets that one to go, and Iceland desperately needed that. Second field goal tonight for Standison. Brasdeikis has got 8. Good recovery on the bull screen for the defense of Iceland. Brasdeikis, a lot of contact, and he gets that one to go. Now indeed becoming Lithuania's second player to double figures. Iceland's got to calm down against this intense man-to-man pressure from Lithuania. Elva down the middle, and that time a foul will be called. So this will send Elva Fredriksson to the free throw line, and that's going to be foul number 3 against Brasdeikis. Well, no, it's on Margiris Nomantis. My apologies. But look at this. Mismatch alert. Got to come for a double. And there was the teardrop that made the front court Lithuanian players, well, shed a few tears on that. But Elva misses the free throw. Because when you're chasing the game, these are the kind of shots you can't afford to miss. Because with his 34 points, he only took 3 free throws that evening, only missing 1 of them. Second one is good. Only 3 points tonight for Elva Fredriksson. Just went viral over the internet on those social media platforms with that game winners. Now Margiris Nomantis, and that's way too easy. Just comfortably comes off a ball screen and walks into an 18-foot jump shot. Iceland again, going to his dribble handoff, trying to attack the gaps. Standison fires a 3. Nobody going in for an offensive board. Not looking good for Iceland from the three-point line. As Lithuania plans to pile on more pressure, more misery against Iceland's defense. Blažević, simple pass, and it's just beautiful basketball. Finding Mindaugas Kachinas. Biggest lead of the game so far for the Lithuanians. A win tonight for them would take them 2-2, same record as Iceland. No foul given. Linusson. That's going to go out of bounds off of Lithuania. So 11 on the shot clock. It will be Iceland ball. Jan-Axel Gudmundsson getting ready to check back in for Iceland. Here's Standison will just take a slight breather. Ignas Jonas just having a few words with the legend, the coach, Rimas Kurtinaitis, as he'll come back in for Margiris Nomantis. Good minutes so far from Nomantis. 7 points this evening. Elva just being hounded, followed everywhere. Well, that's going to be another foul. It's on Mantas Rupstavicius. Now, I mean, I understand they want to make him give the ball up, but when you've already put Iceland in the penalty, you don't want to send them to the free throw line. Well, Rupstavicius, only 23 years of age. You can see Rimas Kurtinaitis saying, listen, they're in the penalty. But Iceland's got to make the free throws. A 7 out of 9 so far this evening. Not making 8 out of 10. Standison, second in assists so far tonight for Iceland, right behind Elva Fredriksson and Jan-Axel Gudmundsson, who both have 3 each. Elva makes them both. 17-point deficit. Iceland do have some fouls to give. 1 to be exact. Brasdeikis goes back door, pump fakes. In and around the defense, Jonas has time for a dribble, stops, pops. Blažević offensive board and finally gets his first field goal. Well, he may not get a double-double tonight. He may do. I think he wants to win. Elva, one hand, simply unstoppable. Fredriksson took on the entire Lithuanian defense and wouldn't be denied or blocked. Well, backdoor Rupstavicius, but I think both Elva Fredriksson and Trively Henderson get a hand to it. Well, it was Elva. Žemaitis checks back into the game for Lithuania. 1:20 here in the second quarter. Trively Henderson now will go to the bench. Žemaitis, time, space, doesn't get it. Rebound has been secured by Henningsen. Iceland looking to chip into the deficit before the halftime break. Henningsen going around one screen. Well, they've called a foul here. That's going to be a second foul, I think, against Marek Blažević. So maybe it's on Žemaitis, my apologies. So that's his second personal. And another trip to the free throw line here for Iceland. Ragnar Nathanielsson currently at the free throw line here for Iceland. Just another backup center for them. It's his debut. He's another 7-footer. So where do these 7-footers come from? Second free throw, no good. First place for Hamad in Iceland. 35 years of age, veteran player. And that's going to be a foul on the ground. So that's Iceland's final team foul to give away. Well, the young fans loving the occasion right now. They're up by 16 because they don't want a repeat of what happened in Reykjavik. It's Brazdakis way off on the mark. And another foul is going to be called against Iceland. So now it will be free throws coming up here for Lithuania. Was that going to be on Henningsen, though? But with 46.1, given the time here, if Iceland, when they get the ball back, could actually go 2 for 1. Mindaugas Kachinas just making the first free throw. Chris currently playing for Sopot in the Polish Basketball League. To try to extend it to an 18-point lead. Makes them both. Lithuania currently 8 out of 10 collectively from the free throw line. Kachinas moves up to 6. Elva attacks, kicks out. There's another, oh no, steps out of bounds. Oh no, it's a foul, yep. So that's going to be against Kachinas. I thought the initial decision was it was going to be a turnover. So Iceland now will shoot their 14th and 15th free throws of the first half. Mantis Benjis currently watching from the bench. Now, what's interesting about him, he has featured for Lithuania in every single windows or campaigns, qualifying windows of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, all the way from 2017 till now, 2026. I mean, that's a decade of representation of excellence. Another change coming in for Iceland. Iceland just trying to get as many bodies into the mix as possible to give some of their key plays much needed respite, because they don't possess the same depth as Lithuania. It's 12 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Neither team with any fouls to give. Žemaitis patiently waiting for a screen. It's going to be a bit of a bull screen, pick and pop, ghost screen action from Brazdakis. Twisting, turning, goes in and makes it look easy. Brazdakis right now dominating with 12 points. Iceland want the final shot. Jan Axel Gudmundsson penetrates, bumps, a lot of contact, no foul given. Incredible. And now Brazdakis, half court. Well, no bucket, no foul given. Rimas Kurtinaitis definitely felt there was a lot of contact, but the same can be argued by Craig Peterson down the other end, but smiles on the legend's face as his team currently lead by 19 points against Iceland here at home in Klaipėda, Lithuania. Game day 4 of the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. Lithuania looking to avenge their big defeat in Group D against Iceland on the road, but so far Iceland have only converted 2 out of 9 from the three-point line. Lithuania out-rebounding Iceland 25-16. Well, both teams 10 and 9 assists, but that is how it stands. Iceland don't have a player in double figures at the moment, while both Ignas Sadgionis and Ignas Brazdakis leading together with a combined total of 12 points apiece at 24. Well, we will take a look at some of the key highlights momentarily. Well, so far it's been a great, exhilarating start for the Lithuanians. 12 points coming from Ignas Brazdeikis, 6 out of 11 from the field. And every time he goes to the ISO, he's just simply unguardable. You got to double team him, and he has no problem going up against 7'3" Trygve Thinason. Just played his high school basketball at Orangeville Prep in Canada. Also briefly in the NBA, but that was a nice little jump hook coming from A.S. Stanison of Brazdeikis. Just post up, big guy, too big, too strong, and simply just too good. Well, has the euphoria of that big victory against Lithuania finally cooled down for Iceland? Still a whole nother half to go, and remember, they were down by 21 in the fourth quarter and found a way back within 7 minutes. It's not over by any means, but Lithuania in total control of this game, and the home crowd right now very jubilant. Well, we'll be back very soon for the second half.
Oh my goodness sakes, that's a throwdown.
Goes in for the dunk.
Good night. Too big, too strong, and just too good.
Bogdanovic, who goes in and scores. Ah!
This is what it's all about.
It's all one big basketball family, folks. Winning time. Both teams over the limit. You have got to be kidding me!
It's another player based in northern Portugal, in Porto. Russell! Oh my, look at that for a three-pointer. We talk about the dangerous shooters from outside for Romania.
He passes back outside, the three-pointer from Mijanovic. And it's a three-point game right at the end of the quarter. Wow!
Again, throws it up, oh, and he makes it. That is unbelievable from Yamada. And it'll be a chance for a 4-point play. How good was this?
4.5 minutes it took him to get that first bucket. Oh, and the rejection. For Turkey, Jerry Osman, tough take and foul. Goodness me. And that's why he played in the league.
Take inside, throw it down, big man. Lazic saw an open hole and took it.
Francisco gets it, decides to shoot it. Oh! Are you kidding me? Silva Francisco with the dagger!
Well, get it rejected. To Bellis, said not in your house. And oh my goodness, both ends of the floor. His name is Azuolas Tubelis. What a play. Atsi Prashao, excuse me.
The score is wrong on the board. It's an 82-81. Lloyd steps back for the game. Oh, Jordan Lloyd for the win. Silence in the arena. Jordan Lloyd has broken the hearts of this Latvian crowd. Steps back, releases. It's clearly good. Jordan Lloyd has a 37-point game for the last three and the most important three.
Got to get it inbound. Fredriksson goes behind the back, goes up for it. Ah, baby! Good night, Iceland! Elva! MVP Fredriksson has done it! Down 21, but together, collectively, they found a way
and they came back and won it.
How many times are we going to see this?
Baseline, are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me.
I'll go tax the closeout, beat Bruno inside.
Fills it up.
Welcome back, everybody, live here in Klaipėda, Lithuania. Game day 4 here in Group D of the 2027 FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. When currently Lithuania, the Avengers, looking to get a revenge from their defeat in Reykjavik. But as for Iceland, they're currently being led by Christian Paulsen, who's 2 out of 3 from the three-point line. Just having converted 1 field goal from inside the rainbow, along with his 1 free throw. He also has 3 rebounds, but unfortunately, also has 3 fouls after picking up 1 unsportsmanlike. He's the only player to knock down any perimeter shots so far here for Iceland. The team who did knock down 11 in that historic comeback, trailing by as many as 21 in game day 3 against Lithuania. Well, they're going to have to do it all over again. While for Lithuania, it's a combined total of 24 points, 12 each for both Ignas Sargionis and Ignas Brazdeikis. But Sargionis so far coming out with so much confidence. Well, he's 5 out of 8 from the field, and he's been deadly in transition, having also knocked down 2 3-point field goals. But here getting the screen from Marek Blažević, and look at the little teardrop. Over Tryggvi Hlynurson, chased by Eir Steinarsson. But no problem for Ignas Sargionis. But he's really come into his own, and here was the final bucket he got at the end of the first half. Because no Icelandic defender was going to be able to stop him. And Thrastason, it was good defense, but simply excellent offense. Well, in window 1, he announced himself to the world, where he made those final 3 3-pointers to come back and allow Lithuania to defeat Great Britain in the World Cup qualifiers. But we've been here before, and I don't mean Klaipėda, I mean Lithuania leading by this margin against Iceland. Can they hang on this time? Because it was heartbreak, disappointment for Lithuania. Now is in such a small spurt of time in the 4th quarter, and credit to Iceland, led by Elvar Fredriksson in that game with 34 points and 6 assists. But it was indeed the Icelandic players who prevailed. I think Rimas Kurtinaitis, surely at halftime, is probably addressing to his players, listen, we've been here, we led by this much, we cannot let go of this game. Now, unfortunately for them in that game, Marek Blažević did end up fouling out, and he was their best player that evening with a double-double. And so far, Blažević only 1 for 3 from the field. And the only 2 players in double figures this evening are Lithuania's Ignas Brazdeikis and Ignas Sargionis, excuse me. Well, they're 10 out of 28 from the field. Iceland have done a good job of getting inside the paint, but they just haven't been clinical enough. They haven't been able to finish. And while Tryggvi Hlynurson does have 2 field goals at 8 points, they've got to keep going to the big mat. For sure, Iceland or Lithuania are going to try to collapse the defense and cause them a lot of problems, but they should be too dangerous for Iceland. Even though they don't have Mon Hermansen, you have both Elvar Fredriksson on the perimeter, and then you also have the second option, offensive threat of Elvar Fredriksson. There's their second 7-footer who's only just made his debut in the World Cup qualifiers here in the second week. No, and that's Ragnar Nathanielsen. Well, the only player close to getting to double figures is Christian Paulsen, who does have 9 points. Now, we did say Tryggvi Hlynurson is actually 2 points away and 6 rebounds away from a potential double-double, which he does usually get. He didn't get it in the victory, so he did have 14 points at home in Reykjavik. But Paulsen had those 2 good looks from the perimeter. If he's going to be that 3-point threat, well, they've got to find good looks at him continuously tonight. I think Craig Peterson understands the magnitude of this game. And I think he would have known going into the halftime break. Let's keep our heads. Let's remain cool because, listen, we've done this. And we did it in much smaller time. So we got 2 quarters to try and change the narrative of this game. If you look at the overall stats, I think the one problem, which wasn't an issue at the end of the first quarter, is now becoming points in the paint. And that's where Lithuania is taking advantage. At the end of the first quarter, it was 10 and 8. As of now, it's 26 and 16. So it's one too many points they've given away. And also Lithuania with 11 fast break points compared to only 3 from Iceland. And they've actually converted 12 points from Iceland's turnovers, which has also been an Achilles heel this evening for the Icelandic offense. Well, they've already committed 10 turnovers. Lithuania, on the other hand, well, they've only committed 5. Because 9 offensive boards, and they are leading the rebound count. Lithuania currently with 25 boards, only 16 so far for Iceland, and only 3 offensive rebounds. And that needs to change. Because if the threes aren't dropping for Iceland against this imperious Lithuanian defense, well, you've got to find other ways to score. 0 second chance points, only 3 fast break buckets so far here for Iceland. But he knows all too well the job is not done yet. Margiris Nomats is coming off the bench this evening for Lithuania. He's played some very good minutes. Still yet to see a Mats' benches. One of the serious veterans of this team. Margiris Nomats is currently 7 points. Thus he's converted 1 3-pointer, haven't taken 3 so far. Elvar Fredriksson, the superhero of the first meeting. So far only 7 points. He's missed 4 field goals out of his 6 attempts. He has converted 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. Lithuania's defensive game plan. Make Elvar Fredriksson give it up. Well, there is Sigurd Pedersen. We've only seen him for a very brief 36 seconds in the first half. Because not a lot of turnaround time since playing the first game. But that's the beauty of the qualifiers. It's quick. Sometimes you've got to travel. Players now returning to the benches. We'll get some final words of inspiration from their coaches. Because now we're very ready indeed to getting this one back underway. I think what was amazing was the body language of Rimas. Let's listen to what Rimas Kurtinaitis has got to say.
Ąžuolas bus šiandien. Ir tik tai mes 5 čia. Ir tu irgi nebūk iš čia, nes mes nespėjom nubėgti. Atsivaryk kažkur ties čia, paduosi ir tą ketomą tokį. Gal per čia. Biškį, nes per čia per toli. Ir iškart paaukligi čia, nes Ąžuolo, kai įkirs, Ąžuolas bus ten, mums reikia paduoti. Varom Ąžuolą, o paskiau, jeigu ką, taip varom plojimą. Gerai, važiuojam. Plojimą.
Hey, naudojam geras baudas, plojant Fredriksono. Davai. Mes už Lietuvą.
Well, many legends in the building indeed, coming to this beautiful city of Klaipėda to watch Lithuania, the Avengers, try to make amends. And again, if you love the World Cup qualifiers, download the app. Use that QR code and download the World Cup qualifiers app. Customize your experience following your favorite players and teams. Follow them right from the qualifiers up until Doha 2027 and get all the best news, highlights, and content that matter to you most. Download it on your smartphone, tablet, or Android. Welcome back, everybody, live here in Klaipėda, Lithuania, at the Sviturio Arena. Lithuania currently leading by 19 against Iceland. Iceland currently with A.S. Stanison, Jan Axel Gudmundsson. They're going to begin with a turnover. Here comes Tubelis. He'll go all the way, misses. Well, they should have converted that. Iceland, Paulsen finds Linusson. Linusson caught between 2. They'll go for a 3 in the corner. Good look, but unable to finish. Only the 4th offensive rebound in the game for Iceland. Paulsen looks to attack. Final seconds for Elvar Fredriksson. One-legged fadeaway. Very similar to how he took the game winner, but he's unable to make it. Well, Lithuania currently with Brasdeikis, Žemaitis in the backcourt, and Ignas Sargionis. As Azuolas Tubelis along with Marek Blažević. That's quite a big lineup there for Lithuania. Well, gotta get everything. Make sure everybody's healthy to come into the lineup here. Sadagionis has 12. Now he's got 15. He's cooking. He is on fire. That's going to be a foul now on Ignas Sadagionis. Because he's riding with momentum. They don't want to send him to the bench for any foul trouble. Curl screen. Catch, shoot. Inevitable. 22-point Lithuanian lead. It's only Sadagionis' first personal foul. On Axel Gudmundsson. Tries to force his way. What defense by Brazdeikis. Nelson's got to pull up. Bank's not open. And again, nobody going in for an offensive board. Here comes Lithuania. Sadagionis thinks about it. Good passing here for Lithuania. Now they find Brazdeikis. Big offensive rebound for Tubelis. Iceland right now look dejected. But a foul is going to be called on Elvar Fredriksson. Over a minute and a half played here in the third quarter. Brazdeikis gets in around the defense and just comfortably walks in as he moves up to 14 points. It's way too easy for Lithuania's backcourt. This got to catch a tough one. Tries to go in for a little dream hook, and again, nothing falling for the big fella. Iceland have got to build that identity here in their offense, but now they got to play defense. Brazdeikis has a mismatch against Stanison. Backs down, finds Blažević. Well, usually that's bread and butter for Big Marek. That will be indeed a third foul against Ignas Brazdeikis. Stanison will go to the bench for Iceland, rotating up here in the backcourt as Olofsson checks back into the lineup. Nice kick out. They get a wide open look. Got to make it. And it's a high percentage look as Olofsson gets the offensive rebound. Fredriksson, pump fakes. Nice dish out. Finds Olofsson. And even when they're down, Iceland still play principled good basketball. They never take a bad shot. Everything's very calculated. Sadagionis has 15. And again, this kid is on fire. The Baltic Sea has opened up, and everything falling in for Ignas Sadagionis. Seven out of 10 from the field. Fredriksson, can he get his first three? Comes up with a rebound. Thought about going for another one. Gets it off quickly. He's able to knock it down. 9 points to Elvar Fredriksson, but it's still a 23-point deficit. Just under 3.5 played here in the third quarter. Tubelis has a mismatch and just plays bully basketball. Christian Paulsen felt a help side defender was coming, but nobody was home. Gudmundsson is smothered by Marek Blažević. Iceland now have under 10 here on the shot clock. On Axel Gudmundsson goes in, hot foul, count it. They'll go to the free throw line. They want an unsportsmanlike foul. But that was quite a hack from Marek Blažević. Wow. Swipes at him. Look at this no-look dime from Elva. In and around, dissecting Sadagionis and Žemaitis. What a dime. That's going to be a second foul against Marek Blažević. On Axel Gudmundsson makes the free throw. I think Lithuania may have forgot it was an &1. Now they've just realized, 22-point deficit. It's only 1 point more, to which Iceland have made the comeback in the fourth quarter. Give and go, Pallison, good defense. Could have been called for a foul there. That would have been number 4, but they allowed play to continue. Surely that's another one. That's going to be Lithuania's 4th and final team foul. So here is where Iceland can find a way to get back in this. Keep drawing fouls. Go to the free throw line. So a timeout is going to be called, I believe, by Rimas Kurtinaitis. Because the speed at which Iceland plays puts any defense under pressure. Let's listen now.
Dabar 5 keičiamės, jie lakstys. Jeigu nespėsim, davai su 5 nesikeičiam, tu 5 laikyk. Su 5 nesikeičiam. Mes 4. Su 5 keičiamės, kai 5 sekundės lieka.
Jeigu jis popina.
Ne. Mes arčiau giname. Padaryk tą arpą, jei jis skrynas, tada keičiamės. Gerai? Shooting greit. Taip.
Gerai, keičiam visi 5. Tik tai žiūrėk, kai išbėgsi. Neužtai. Dabar žiūrėk, kaip bėtis rajakus, nes jie užsisuks tą. Mums reikia konkrečiai ką. Arba 5 į viršų, su ąžuolu čia nais paduosim. Arba ąžuolas iš šon, važiuoja.
No foul.
Well, Ignas Sadagionis, what a quick release he has. But how well he does to get himself open and just lose a defender when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Well, when you're just that clutch, when you're worth it, I would say. Beautiful hairstyle. Nice spin out by Jan Axel Gudmundsson, but misses from point-blank range. And that's a confidence blower here for. And there's a dunk by the big fella. Well, Ajolas Tubelis now moving up to 7 points. Got to make this one. It's another missed layup. Back-to-back missed layups for Iceland. Spells trouble. Brazdeikis initiates more contact, and he'll finish. Biggest lead tonight for Lithuania at 26. Amazing what the timeout from Rimas Kurtinaitis did for his team. Restoring the pride, the confidence. Another back door. But this time, no problem. Well, they had to make that one. Great work by Thorir Thorbinyasin. Which really, it should be a 20-point deficit had they not missed the 2 layups. Tubelis. Good hands on defense. That's going to remain Lithuania ball. Well, Tubelis just has the 007 look about him. Sadagionis thinks about going for the 3. Hesitates. There's a kick out, finds Brazdeikis. He's wide open. Doesn't get it, but Lithuania battling. Goes out of bounds. Back to Iceland. Maybe Iceland just know, being down by 20 going into the 4th. Who knows? Maybe they like that kind of adversity. They're down by 24 at the moment with still 4:35 to play here in. 3rd quarter. Nearly turning it over. Elva finds a gap right to the bucket. He'll have no problem. Well, Fredriksson now with 11 points. Becoming Iceland's first player into double figures. Tubelis, quick catch, way too dominant. Didn't bring the ball down. He made that look so cool, so effortless. Lithuania now with 16 assists. Iceland going for a deep triple. Haven't made one since the 1st quarter. 13 3-point attempts, only converting 2 of them. Lithuania also with 8 more rebounds. Well, they took the gamble. There's a kick out. Magiris Normantis. Sadagionis wide open. 3 is up. But another offensive board. No foul given. Elva wants to run. Gets bumped. Finds Powson. He's made 2 threes. And he's fouled in the process. And the foul is unnecessary from Agiolas Tubelis because this will just send Christian Powson to the free throw line. He's only made 1 so far tonight. But a chance to cut it down to 21, which was the same margin Lithuania had in the 4th quarter, in which Iceland made the comeback from. Hopefully that 21 is not going to be a curse, a voodoo if you like. Well, Christian Powson did feature for Iceland at the Eurobasket, didn't play for them in window 1 in that win against Italy and defeat against Great Britain. Just 7 points against Lithuania, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Now becomes Iceland's 2nd player in the double figures. 2nd one good. Well, one fan looks anxious, the other one looks like they're enjoying the time. But who knows? Makes this his 21. That 21 number. Could he come back to haunt Lithuania as he makes all 3 free throws? The chance of Lietuva from the Lithuanian fans. Blažević, mismatch. Sargionis, 3 in the corner. Doesn't get it. Olofsson comes up with it. Over 3 minutes here in the 3rd. Well, they try to give and go, but good hands by Sargionis. Lithuania have numbers. Nice passing. Brasdeikis, corner 3. Buries it. Transition triple. You gotta love it. 19 tonight for Brasdeikis. Now officially the game's leading scorer. As Powson goes in and cuts it back down to 22. Nice give and go action. As Lithuania try to start things here with Magiris Nomantis. Tries to hesitate, gets right to the bucket. And he's able to finish. Tough play. Because probably his biggest game for Lithuania was against Egypt back in Manila at the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. But unfortunately, he didn't come up with the game's most valuable player award. Or the player of the game, I should say. Nice to go for another one. Finally coming up with an offensive rebound. Olofsson throws it right away. Good steal by Magiris Nomantis. And without Elvar Fredriksson on the floor, it's quite a struggle offensively here for Iceland. Good hands, big time. Labana, good night. Well, I think Marek Blažević just had enough at this point. Throw it down, Marek. Throw it down, big fella. Makes the defense pay. Well, big time play by a big time player. Marek Blažević had no mercy on Iceland's defense. And a timeout called by Craig Peterson. Back to the biggest lead of the game at 26 points for Lithuania. Let's head down to their bench to find out what he's going to say.
Keep stepping up and setting this one, for example, for Thori, diving to the rim, and then the 4 is up behind the ball. Okay? Steerman, you're up behind the ball. So Siggy and Hirmar are here, for example. You can have the ball also. Okay? Stepping up, attacking, diving to the rim. You could be filling in behind. All right? Hey, keep looking. Keep it. You other guys. Like Steerman, when you step up to set it, you just slip.
Well, there was the no-look dime from Elvar Fredriksson, and when he came off the floor for Iceland, you could see clearly because the absence of Mon Hermansen does leave them a little bit shallow, but you know, Hermansen was missing in the victory. Difference is they were at home in Reykjavik. Because he's still the lead scorer, well, second lead scorer, excuse me, right behind Christian Powson, who does have 14. Back to a 26-point lead here for Lithuania. Thras isn't looking to give up. Oh, again, it's going to be another turnover. Lithuania have numbers. Well, may have taken a few too many steps, but in the end, veteran Eimantas Bendžius will finish off the glass. Biggest lead of the night for Lithuania. 19 points converted from Iceland's turnovers. Another kick out. Now goes to the tough contested three. They just won't drop. This time a foul is going to be called. I think that's on Jogela. Jogela, excuse me. So 2 free throws coming up for Tryggvi Hlynesen, who hasn't scored yet here in the second half. Second foul against Matas Jogela. Hlynesen still perfect from the free throw line. 124. How much can Iceland try to cut into the deficit? I think we just saw one Linus Glazier on the bench. Because pretty unrecognizable how good he's looking right now in shape. Iceland, nice kick out, goes in, finishes, a lot of contact, nothing given. And Rimas Kurtinaitis will call timeout as it's cut down to a 24-point deficit. Henningsen. And even when they're down, they still keep playing. They play with so much heart. Well, we're going to find out very soon. Let's listen now to Lithuania's timeout.
Tu negali mėtyti, jie eina apačią, kad tu mėtyti. Tu mėtyti, kad reikia. Negalima mėtyti, žaiskit, mes laimėtume, ble. Šitą kaip pažiūrėk, Marekai, pastatyk žemė užtvarą, nes jie eina per apačią. Nes Krisas šias būna, tu eini čia. Kai paduodi tą kamuolį, va čia pastatyk. Kad jisai išsikeistų, tai Krisas tau paduos. Gerai, pavarom, bragus į viršų.
Well, as we've just seen Linus Glazier, on the bench. Because as I said in the pregame, Lithuania's biggest success at a FIBA Basketball World Cup came back in Turkey in 2010. Because that very tough semifinal match against the United States of America, which, because the USA had Chauncey Billups, Kevin Durant, Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, and Andre Iguodala, and Stephen Curry, of all names. Because Glazier had a tough one, but in the bronze medal game against Serbia, well, he led them with 33 points. So the bronze medal has been Lithuania's greatest finish at a FIBA Basketball World Cup as they turn it over. Iceland can go 2 for 1. Well, there's a three, cut it down. 21-point deficit. Exactly how it was in Reykjavik. Well, I'm just building the suspense. I'm just saying, it's 21. Can Lithuania go in with a bigger margin into the fourth quarter? Margiris, no, Mantis doesn't get it. But Blažević, follow-up is good. Well, that's why Marek's in there. Final play here for Iceland. There's a three. Doesn't get it, way off the mark. But another offensive board. Well, they'll get another look at three. This one's up. 2 good looks on the perimeter. And Lithuania will go into the fourth and final quarter with a 23-point cushion. Not if you're superstitious, but that's slightly better than 21. Well, we'll take a look at some of the key stats here from the third quarter. But so far, it's been one direction. Iceland had only 1 3-pointer coming in the third quarter. They hit 2 in the first quarter. But Lithuania, 25 field goals from inside the rainbow. We'll take a look at the highlights very soon. Sadgiona's second leading scorer so far this evening for Lithuania with 18 points, right behind Ignas Brazdeikis. Of course, only 11 this evening for Elvar Fredriksson. Just hasn't been enough. 14 points in total for Christian Paulsen. Look at this, total display of dominance inside the paint, and that's where Lithuania really have utilized their DNA. 44 points in the paint tonight for Lithuania. Wait, credit to Iceland, they have 30, but 25 straight points for the Lithuanians. That was Elvar Fridolin getting right down the middle. But look at big man Marek Blažević. Well, 19 points off of Iceland's turnover. 17 second chance points for Lithuania. It's fair to say it's been Lithuanian Avengers assemble. Well, fans, if you like watching games like this at the international stage, download Courtside 1891 using that QR code to get the best live streams, scores, and schedules. Courtside 1891, the home of international hoops. Well, Matas Jogela, along with Kristupas Žemaitis, into the lineup in the backcourt with Margiris Nomantis. Eimantas bench is power forward with Marek Blažević as the natural center for Lithuania. Welcome back, everybody, live here in Klaipėda. Game day 4 of this Group D fixture of the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. Margiris Nomantis having made that last three-pointer. Kicks out, finds Jogela. Extends it to a 26-point lead. 8 three-pointer tonight for Lithuania. Well, good hands by Margiris Nomantis, but that's going to remain Iceland ball. Torben Jassen, Henningsen, Pettersson, Kleinason, and Thrastason. So no Elvar Fridolin. Nice little Eurostep action. Well, tough play. Thrastason getting right into the paint. And this is a good time here for some of the players who don't necessarily play as many minutes for Iceland. Well, Thrastason again, that's surely got to be an unsportsmanlike. Yep. So Thrastason on both ends of the floor. I don't think Rimas Kurtinaitis is going to argue too much. He understands. That's clear as daylight. What was the kick out there? Good hands. Anticipation by Thrastason. Well, he stands at 200 centimeters. Styrmir Thrastason. Just actually a 3-stretch 4 for this team. Currently playing in Belgium in the BNXT League. Actually went to Davidson University for one season back in 2021-22. Was actually moved to Spain, my apologies. He played for Benfica Monsenal last season. Now playing for CB Zamora. Well, change coming in for Lithuania. As Mindaugas Kachinas comes in for Eimantas Benčius. He's the man who's featured for Lithuania in every single FIBA World Cup qualifying campaign from 2017 to 2026. That's something. Spanish pick and roll being set. Kleinason. Good defense by Marek Blažević. Blažević trying to stand strong. Kleinason, little jump hook. Well, that's a 6-0 run from Iceland. 12 points tonight for Kleinason. Also 6 rebounds. Sadionis being denied on defense. Sadionis on the screen finds Jogela, made his last 3. Well, did he call bank? I don't think so, but I don't think it matters. He hasn't missed a 3 tonight, Jogela. Trying to fake the pass, but again, nobody coming up with the offensive board. Well, Blažević not happy with that one, and here comes Ignas Sadionis. Patient passing for the Lithuanians, and I think that time, Kachinas may have just made one too many passes. Kachinas, excuse me. That was the 3 bite catches, his 3rd three-pointer of the game. Bank time. Žemaitis just in and around the defense, and again, BEA, beautiful left hand. Extending it back to a 25-point lead. That 6-0 run has been evaporated by Iceland. The handoff actually coming with Torben Jassen, and a foul is going to be called against Lithuania. That's his 2nd team foul. With just over 2 minutes played here in the 4th quarter. Well, it's going to be a small ball lineup here for Iceland. It's Christian Paulsen back in the lineup. And that's going to be a turnover. Well, good defense from the Lithuanians. Both catch it well. I think Rimas Kurtinaitis will go for a head coach's challenge. Oh, will he? No, maybe he won't. So Iceland get it back. Oh, what? That's going to be a basket interference potentially, but can't. Great anticipation by Mattis Jogela. He just hit the backboard before. Yep. Still a 23-point lead now. Not sure what's happened here. Oh, a technical foul's been called on Ignas Sargionis. Well, why are Lithuania getting frustrated? Not sure what happened here. Wow, Ignas Sargionis. Why are you arguing about that call? Just play on. Christian Paulsen makes the free throw. 15-9 for Christian Paulsen, still Iceland's leading scorer. They have 3 players in double figures with both Elvar Fredriksson and Trygve Hlinason. But neither of the 2 star players on the floor at the moment for Iceland. Coach Craig Peterson wants to allow this development time as Blažević goes in, just can't, too dominant. Well, he's got 8. Well, given the size of the margin now, if Lithuania win by anything more than 1 point, they'll win the heads as Paulsen hits his 3rd 3. And Iceland just keep battling back. Now, look at it again. 21 with just over 7 minutes left. I'm just building the suspense. Lithuania right now will try to rewrite the narrative. And Blažević, well, they're going to call blocking foul. And that's his 4th personal foul. Let's have a look here. Wow. What I like about that is you can see Marek Blažević quickly turn to the referee. Look at the pick and pop action with Paulsen. Well, he cannot commit another one because he has 3. Well, 75% of all Iceland's made 3-pointers tonight. They're 21% collectively as a team. They've attempted 19 so far. Lithuania's fans trying to rally. Remember, Paulsen's got 4. Lithuania, another 3. Rebound collected calmly by Thorben Yasin. Thorben Yasin attacks, nowhere to go. Paulsen thinks about it. Well, he tried to go for the dump down to Thorben Yasin, but Žemaitis was in the way of the clear line. Well, here comes Trygve Hlinason, Elvar Fredriksson, Jan Axel Gudmundsson, and Eyjur Steinarsson back in the lineup. Lithuania battle for the offensive board. And that foul is going to be called on the ground against Styrmir Thrastason. Well, has Craig Peterson maybe thought, you know what, I'll give the 2nd string unit a lot of time here, but down 21 like we were back in Reykjavik with a similar amount of time. Žemaitis will go to the bench. Martinas Gebbins back in the lineup here for Lithuania. Ignas Brazaitis is also checked back in. Well, could it be Elvar time indeed? Could it be? There's the curl screen action. Jogela unable to finish. And bringing back in, Hlinason prevents the offensive boards. Elva back to Hlinason. A lot of contact, and he'll go back to the free throw line. Because staggering tonight, considering they are down by 21. Iceland have attempted 24 free throws and have made 20 of them. Trygve Hlinason, 50% of his points have come from the charity stripe. He's got 12. Make it 7 out of 7. Perfection so far for the big fella. Finally misses one. Well, the follow-up, but unable to come up with possession. Can Lithuania put the nightmare behind them? Can they put it to bed, wrap it up, hold on to this 20-point cushion? No, Mattis gets that high screen from Martinez Gevin. Goes back to Gevin. A lot of hands. Goes out of bounds. So with 4.4, Lithuania will retrieve this on the baseline. Rasdegas pump fakes. Dumps down, finds Gevins. To get it up. No, it's going to be a 24-second violation. Maybe there's not enough time for a comeback, but again, it's all looking too familiar at the moment here for Lithuania. Juolas Tubelis coming back in for Kachinas. Lithuania just need to keep getting stop after stop. You want to find Kristen Paulson. 3 3-pointers converted so far this evening. Standerson. Paulson makes the contact, puts up the prayer. Are you kidding me? Could it have been a 4-point play? That's his 4th triple. 21 tonight for Paulson. Iceland do have 2 fouls to give. Lithuania's just got to hang on. But we were here a few days ago. Same story. That's going to go out of bounds. Oh, they come up with it. Iceland, can they run? Jan Axel Gudmundsson. He'll walk into a 3. Doesn't get it. And had he made that, it would have been a 14-point deficit. Under halfway to go here in the 4th quarter. Well, Brasdeikis just trying to work around the screen, puts up a little teardrop, still can't get it. This is incredible. There's the back door, but again, maybe it's the fatigue settling in, but those are 2 golden opportunities for Iceland. There was the 3. And he turns at the referee to say, are you kidding me? I mean, it was good defense, but better offense by Kristen Paulson. A prayer, and it was answered. Lithuania's just got to score here. There's the hands-on defense. And again, Iceland come up with it. Iceland have numbers. Elva finds Paulson, and now the foul's called. So Kristen Paulson can cut it down to 15 with 4:11. Lithuania don't need to argue here. They don't need to get involved. Just need to walk away. Brasdeikis just showing some composure there. Well, initially he had the hands up. It's when he followed through with the block. That's where the foul's been called. Kurtinaitis is like, guys, here we go again. Are you kidding me? When will we learn? Still, you got to think 4:11. Can he make both free throws? Cut it down to 15. First one good for Paulson. 22 tonight. 6 out of 6 from the free throw line. They have taken 27 free throws so far tonight as a team. Think about it. You make all 5 of those missed attempts, and if he makes this one, it's a 10-point ball game. That 26-point lead has now been cut down to 15. Lithuania don't need to rush anything, just need to hang on. Iceland have 2 fouls to give. Blažević has Brasdeikis. They go back down to Marek. Double team comes. Well, that's what happens when you commit. And he still can't get it. Goes out of bounds. Now, will Craig Peterson go for head coach's challenge? Jan Axel Gudmundsson's asking him to. Yep, he's going to call it. So the players will have to go to the benches. The officials now will go to the monitor. First of all, great job from our 3 referees tonight. They've done a magnificent job, but at the moment, Mehmet Şahin from Turkey And Ademir Surapovic just have to look at this replay to find out, does the decision need to be overturned? Let's have a look here. That's very close. Why did Jan Axel Gudmundsson not grab it right there? Well, he was off balance, probably why. So there he comes down. Does it take a touch off the forearm of Jan Axel Gudmundsson? He was adamant to say it didn't. That's tough. If it remains inconclusive, it's going to remain Lithuania ball. Yep, it's going to go back to Lithuania. And a reset of 14 on the shot clock. And Ademir Surapovic is just saying, listen, your play got the last touch. Still don't think the assistant coach agrees, though. Lithuania just need to get something good to restore some confidence. Iceland had those 2 fouls. They brought Cleanerson away from the bucket. Brazdakis got to go for it, hand his face. Big time! And they needed that one. Back to 18. And surely that's enough to maybe silence a comeback, but you never know. Paulson. Nobody getting open. Completely static. Elva's able to keep it alive. Fredriksson goes to Cleanerson, gets nutmegged. Good defense from Lithuania. Maybe, just maybe, it's enough to hang on. In any other game, you would hear me say that with over 3 minutes up by 18. You would think I was crazy. But again, it was the comeback where Iceland trailed by 21 the last time they met with 7 minutes left, in which they came back to win on the buzzer. Sargionis kicks out. Brazdakis again, maybe? Doesn't get it. Now we're under 3 minutes. No time really here for Iceland. Jan Axel Gudmundsson got to make this one. Just won't get it, but Cleanerson comes in and cleans up. Well, that's what the big fella's in there for. That's what they've missed this evening. Second chance opportunity points. Tubelis has to kick out to Blažević. In the corner, Brazdakis. Oh, baby! Achoo! Thank you very much, says the entire city of Klaipėda. And that might just do it again. 2:19. Lithuania lead by 19 points. Give credit, though, to Iceland. Even having gone down by 26 twice, they continue to battle. And you'd expect nothing less from this country with such big hearts. But crazier things have happened in international basketball. Never say never. They do have 2 fouls to give. So we can anticipate Craig Peterson saying, listen, if we score, we've got to get right up on them. Force them to turn it over. I mean, tonight, Lithuania, 11 turnovers so far. Iceland, that's when they let themselves down. They had 9 at the end of the first half. Granted, only 7 in the second half. But it's been the three-point shooting that's let them down. Only 5 out of 22. Of course, Iceland's transition play hasn't really been a factor so far this evening. But it has stepped up slightly better. But Ignas Brazdakis, well, he's come clutch. 25 for him this evening. 30% from downtown. But he's made them when they've mattered. And remember, he has 4 fouls. So you got to ask the question to Lithuania's backcourt. Why didn't we go at him? Get him fouled out. Well, Iceland don't have really a lot of time. Best they can do is chip in for points difference. Elva crosses over. No foul given. That would have been number 5. Now, here's still up. Rimas, you've got to love that. Well, you've got both Icelandic players. Elva Fredriksson now being calmed down by his former Ritas teammate. And Eir Steinarsson protesting. And then you've got the legend, Rimas Kurtinaitis, say, hey, ref, tech. That's going to be a foul this time on Marek Blažević. Well, he fouled out in the last game. I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern now. Iceland looking to cut it down to 17. Goes 8 assists so far this evening for Elvar Fredriksson. Averaging 6.3 in all the games he's played so far here in the qualifiers. Now moving up to 12 points. Just not anywhere near the 34 that he had in the win. Now make it 13. 5 out of 6 on the free throw line this evening for Fredriksson. Not a lot of full court pressure coming here from Iceland. Brasdeikis has 25. Brasdeikis penetrates. Wants to take on Powson. Contact goes in. 27. I mean, he's unguardable, unstoppable. The quick substitution coming in tonight now here for Iceland. It's Hilmar Henningsen who has 7 points. I mean, look at this. This is brute physicality, calculation. Because had that NBA experience, is now catching this, comes into lineup. Ayo Stevenson will go to the bench. Elvar Fredriksson, got to go quickly. 90 seconds. Points difference could be a factor. Well, it was too obvious. Good drop defense by both Margiris Nomadsis and Ignas Sargionis. 19-point lead. Brasdeikis, 27, demanding that high ball screen. Kicks out, little tear job by Azuolas Tubelis. That's back to 21. The number that haunted Lithuania in the last game. Elvar goes to the bucket and draws a foul against his former Rytas Vilnius teammate. And it's against Margiris Nomadsis. That's only his second personal foul. Really nothing for him to be concerned about at this stage. It's now Styrmir Thrastason back in the lineup for Iceland. Well, that might be it tonight here for the big fella. 15, 3 rebounds away from a double-double. As Kachinas will also go to the bench for Lithuania. Elvar Fredriksson back in the charity stripe. Two assists away from a double-double for Elvar Fredriksson, but they'll be hoping back in window 3, because interesting tonight, if Great Britain do the unthinkable and get a victory on the road against the Italians, the end of window 2 here in Group D will be the same as the end of window 1. Now, if the Italians can indeed win back-to-back, they will go top of Group D at the end of this window. Remember, top 3 teams go to round 2. Brasdeikis throws down low to Marek Blažević. Blažević twist, turn, doesn't get it. No, points difference matters, especially in a group that's as close as this one. Jon Axel Gudmundsson penetrates, avoids the block. Nice move, cutting it down to 17. Because if Iceland get tied on the same record as Great Britain at the end of window 3, the benefit is they actually have that one victory against Lithuania. The thing is, they're going to have to beat Great Britain on the road in window 3. Sargionis kicks out. Azuolas Tubelis doesn't get it. Final 10 seconds. They got to get one final bucket. Well, there it is. There's the closeout 3. Doesn't get it. Goes out of bounds. Well, Lithuanian Avengers assemble. A disappointing loss for them in Reykjavik on the buzzer, having led by 21. But tonight, Lithuania wins 99-82. You kind of felt a comeback could have been coming from Iceland, but it was just too little, too late. A phenomenal performance from Ignas Brasdeikis, finishing with 27. The Lithuanians 11 out of 29 from the three-point line. And look at that, Iceland took 32 free throws. Of course, Iceland only 4 rebounds less, 3 assists less, but did have 17 turnovers. Too many turnovers in the first half did cost them early on. But it was Ignas Brazdeikis, the former NBA player who played his high school basketball at Orangeville Prep, the same as Thom Maker in Canada. Well, Ignas Jonas chipped in 18. He got things going early on for Lithuania. Ažuolis Tubelis with 11. Great game tonight for Christian Paulsen, who finished with 23. While both Trygve Hlynesen and Alvar Fredriksson combined total of 30 for 15 apiece. We'll take a look at the highlights very, very soon. Well, look what it means to these fans indeed. Restoring national pride. Basketball is more than just a way of life here in Lithuania. Well, some very good moments here in the second half, and the three-point shooting put any form of a comeback from Iceland to bed. Because a bit of a quiet night tonight here for Kristupas Žemaitis, but played his role. There was the phenomenal Juan Carlos Navarro La Bomba three-pointer coming from Christian Paulsen. But even with 7'3", Trygve Hlynesson's hand in Brazdeikis' face, he buries that one. Well, that was the three-pointer by Jan Axel Gudmundsson, but the follow-up by Trygve Hlynnesson. Hlynnesson, in the end, was 3 rebounds away from a potential double-double. It was Brazdeikis finding Ažuolis Tubelis with a sweet little teardrop of a jump hook. And the final bucket there for Iceland. Well, Rimas Kurtinaite is shaking hands. That time with Craig Peterson's assistant coach. And, well, that does it for now. Remember, in 7 minutes' time, Great Britain will be taking on Italy. Because if GB wins that game, well, we'll be right back where we started at in window 2 here in Group D, with all teams tied on the same record. But the Italians can go top of Group D with a victory tonight, which means window 3 will be very interesting indeed. Either way, it'll be interesting. But fans, we thank you for joining us here live in the city of Klaipėda on the northern coast of Lithuania. It's been an absolutely unbelievable atmosphere tonight here at the Švyturio Arena. But for now, it's good night, goodbye, and God bless.
Russell